Hi, what's up everybody? We are back. It has been a very long winter and I'm looking forward to doing this MotoGP preview. We are almost at the beginning of the season. When I'm recording this, it is Friday, 17 March. So that means one more week until FP1 starts. I can't wait until the season starts. I'm very excited because I think it's going to be a very great one. The testing is done now and just under a week until the real racing starts again. The season will start at the Portimao circuit in Portugal for a change, so not the night lights we are used to in Qatar. But nonetheless, I hope we will have another crazy year in terms of results. And with that, I mean I hope for multiple race winners and a great battle for the 2023 title between multiple riders and hopefully multiple manufacturers as well. If the Portimao tests are anything to base our judgment on, it will be a great year as the top 18 are within 1 second of the fastest lap of Pecco Bagnaia. Of the 10 bikes in the top 10 at the last day of testing, there were 7 of the 10 bikes were a Ducati, so that's promising for Ducati, considering there are 8 Ducatis on the grid, and Di Gianantonio, who rides the 8th Ducati, hurt himself, so he didn't even set a lap time. Ducati have it all pretty much figured out. But I will start this review with going over the rookies, or do I say rookie because there's only one this year and I think it will be a tough year if we watch what happened in testing. The rookie is Augusto Fernandes, and not surprisingly he will ride for the Gas Factory Racing Tech 3 team, which is basically a KTM. He is a Spaniard, he is 25 years old and he is the 2022 Moto2 World Champion. Let's be clear, I think it will be a tough year for Fernandes because he's on a KTM and the tests didn't show good things from the KTM side, and I mean all the KTMs, they were always down on the timesheets, so I think it will be a tough year for all KTM riders. And I'm not basing my judgment on the skill of Augusto Fernandes because obviously he is a very good rider. Then my rookie to watch this year will be logically Augusto Fernandes because he's the only one I could pick, but I think it will be interesting to keep an eye out for him and see if he can grow throughout the season. If he's making progress or something, it will be nice to see if he progresses. I also choose an underdog to watch every year. My conditions on which I choose one is simple. I think this guy can have a great result, have a win here or there, be a dark horse in the championship, but won't win the championship. Having said that, my underdog to watch this year was a hard one to choose because there are a lot of great riders, but this year I will go for Alex Marquez because I think he will do good on the Ducati after a couple of tough years on the Honda, and I wouldn't rule him out for a couple of race wins this season. Just as a side note, the guys I also could have picked for my underdog to watch were Miguel Oliveira, Marco Bezzecchi, Luca Marini, Maverick Vinales, Ralph Fernandez and Jorge Martin. So you see the competition is very tough and I had a lot of guys I had to choose from, but in the end I chose Alex Marquez. Another side note to that Alex Marquez thing, I think I also maybe chose him because he's always been kind of in the shadow of his brother. He got a Honda seat because of Mark, which isn't true, but it could have helped, but you know, it's not true. He's just a great pilot. He is Moto3 and Moto2 world champion. Some people forget that. He's just earned it and I hope he can do very well on the Ducati this year. Having said that, I'm moving over to my predicted top 5 of the championship. Note that these names are not in any particular order and it was very hard to choose 5 guys out of 15 guys who could be top 5 or deserve to be in there. The depth of the field is incredible. All the riders are amazing. Everybody's there, totally earned it, so very difficult to choose. But let's go. The first one is Francesco Bagnaia. It's pretty obvious because he's last year's champion. Second is Fabio Quartararo, third is Enea Bastianini, fourth is Marco Bezzecchi, and fifth is Aleix Espargaro. Note that 3 of the 5 riders are Ducati riders, so I think Ducati will have a good year and they have a lot of talent in all of their pools, in the garages, in Gresini, Pramac, you name it. They have a lot of good riders on the Ducatis this year. And my dark horse for the championship is Luca Marini because I think he can do awesome things. I really want to see him get a podium. Also a little bit because his brother is Valentino Rossi. He's always, having that medal of, well, it's the brother of Rossi. I think he just needs to get a nice result and throw it off him because I think he really deserves him, whether or not Rossi is his brother. Then I have a couple of side notes for this year, and let's start with an obvious one. The format of MotoGP has changed quite a bit with the introduction of the sprint races, which will take place on the Saturday of the race weekend. This will be a race with half the laps and the points of the Sunday race. So a mad dash to the finish line, and I'm curious to see what it will do. Personally, I'm not really excited for this as the riders were already tired at the end of the long season. Now it's double the races in the same amount of time. More work for the paddock people who also have families, so I think it will be a tough year. So huge respect for everybody who's in the paddock and the traveling circus every year in, year out. Huge respect from me. Also, regarding the racing, I'm wondering what the approach will be. Ride more cautiously to avoid injury, or go all in to take some points, or possibly a famous MotoGP race win. The one thing I'm sure of is that it will be a spectacle to watch, but at what costs, we'll have to find out. The second point is that the Ducatis will be dominant this year. If we check all the test results, they are always up there, and not a couple of bikes, but nearly all of them. As you heard, 7 of the 10 first bikes on the practices were Ducatis in Portugal, so very good. All in the top 10, so that's what you need, or that's what you want to see if you're a Ducati management guy. Yeah, it's pretty logical. If you have 8 bikes on the grid, you collect a lot of data on the weak points to improve, so you know where to look. They listen to the riders, and it seems to be, air quotes, an easy bike to ride or to get on or to transition to, hence Alex Marquez. Then the third point is that according to the tests, the Aprilias has improved again, and they seem to be the second best manufacturer at the moment. Also, they have 2 more bikes on the grid with the RNF Racing Squad, so they will be able to collect more data than the year before. So I'm curious to see what both RNF bikes will be able to do and the progress of Aleix and Maverick. My fourth point is the third and fourth best manufacturers, which seem to be Honda and Yamaha. It will be interesting to see what Joan Mir and Alex Rins will do on the Honda as they step over from the smooth riding Suzuki bike, or will it be a one-man show again where Marquez has to carry the Hondas to success? In the tests, it didn't seem that promising so far. Same goes for Yamaha with only 2 bikes on the grid. Will the success rest on Quartararo's shoulders, or will Morbidelli find his old form again and step up? I hope he does anyway, because he's a really nice guy, so I hope he finds his form again and he doesn't get sacked or something, because it would be awful to see. Now my fifth point is the seemingly worst manufacturer at the moment. It's KTM with Jack Miller. I hope he'll be able to bring some Ducati knowledge to there. Will the success of KTM rest on Brad Binder's shoulders? We'll see throughout the season. Right now it looks as if they all have a tough year ahead. Then a sixth and final side note, Suzuki is gone. Obviously, the blue Hamamatsu bikes are no more, and the legendary Ken Kawuchi, together with his famous clipboard, have changed garages to the Honda brand, which is a very good move from Honda because, he's a genius. And it's sad to see them leave, as they have every right to be there. Suzuki, that is. The bikes were good, most of all, but this is my personal opinion, they were effing beautiful bikes on the grid. They were the most beautiful bikes on the grid, if it's depending on me. I just really love the look of the Suzuki. They were just beautiful. I mean, look at them. They're just works of art. They're beautiful. We're nearly there, folks. Hang in there. I'm going to show the provisional MotoGP calendar on the screen, but I think it won't change too much over the course of the year, depending on the India round or the Kazakhstan round, if that will change. This year, we will have 21 races all over the world in 18 different countries, starting with the Portimao race in Portugal and ending in Valencia, as it has for a lot of years. We'll see 2 new tracks this year as India and Kazakhstan join the calendar for the 2023 season, and I hope they all can go ahead and no problems arise last minute. Then to close this one off, I'll also show the full entry list of the MotoGP class, which you can see on screen right now. So all we can do now is wait until the 26th of March for the flag to drop and to start a new, hopefully very exciting MotoGP season. So I'm going to leave you. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any feedback, it would be very appreciated if you can leave it in the comment section down below. That's it for me. I'm going to try to brush up on my English because I'm from Belgium and I'm doing my very best to sound as English as possible, but it won't work out. But I'm doing my best so everybody can understand what I'm saying. I'm going to leave you. Have a good one. Stay safe. Enjoy the beginning of the season. And I'll see you in the Moto2 and the Moto3 previews. Until the next one, goodbye.